I know you're all wondering, what on earth has made Jonathan lose his mind to call an extra meeting on a Friday night like this? That's what Bernard said. Did you lose your mind? No, I did not lose my mind. I just thought it would be a very good idea for everybody to get just another dose of some very amazing information. So thank you all very much for joining us. I don't know who's new. I can't tell. And for the sake of getting right into to our presentation, I just really want to just go ahead and get started. So I apologize if you feel like I'm ignoring you, because I am not. I can't thank you all enough for joining us. And if you are here for the first time, somebody thought very highly of you to invite you to this presentation this evening. Someone really thought a lot of you. And for those of you who have come to others of our presentation, you knew that there had to be something very special that we were going to be presenting to you tonight. And I guarantee you, you won't be disappointed. When we get to having a brief conversation with Dr. Nakouzi is very rarely available to participate in meetings like this. But today, he's made an exception. He's made an exception. He's going to give us at least a little bit of his time so that we can benefit from the wealth of knowledge and information that he has accumulated over the years. So here's what we're going to do. There's a couple of presentations that you guys have seen. We're going to show those again, at least one or two of them. And I'm going to ask Dr. Nakouzi just to give us a couple of comments on it so that we can better understand how and why it is that the choices that we've made to align ourselves with Engage Global and the products Micro Daily and Collagen Daily can be so beneficial to us. Okay?
Oh, Joanne on
For the record, my name is Jonathan Jones. It's my privilege to be your host and moderator for the evening. Today is Friday, and it's July the 29th, 2022. And it's just a little bit after 7:30. And we want to try to start as close to on time as we possibly could, out of respect for your time, and most importantly, out of respect for
John, unmute yourself.
The host muted everybody. So here's what we're going to do. When we show you testimonials, please keep in mind, folks, especially for those of you who are here for the first time, testimonials are purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. The statements that are being made have not been evaluated by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. So we don't know the clinical circumstances surrounding what has happened to any of the individuals that will be sharing their stories. Engage Global, HealthCare Support Association of America, myself, Dr. Nakouzi, and none of my co-hosts, Bernard Dean or Alfreda Strong or Jeff Ashby, are making any claims. We're not claiming that any of these products, Micro Daily, Collagen Daily, or any of the Engage Global products will treat or cure any disease. So please know we're not making any medical claims. Only the United States government can declare a natural substance to be a treatment or cure for disease. The information you hear tonight is not to be intended as a substitute for a visit to your primary health care professional. We strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. Please don't do anything I say because I say it. And when Dr. Nakouzi makes comments tonight, he's a medical doctor. He's not taking a position of your primary health care physician. He's not giving you medical advice. He's simply commenting on situations or circumstances that I'm asking him about. We're all just privileged to be able to listen in on our conversation, my conversation with Dr. Nakouzi, as I interview him about some of the things that you're going to be hearing this evening. Okay? That's fair enough for everybody? Very good. Excellent. I see some heads nodding, so I'm going to take that as a yes. So here's what we're going to do. I don't know if Micci Morris is on the meeting tonight or not. And if you are Micci Morris, don't be shocked. You're going to hear yourself again, and we'll get your comments a little bit later on about what it is that you're about to share with everybody. Okay? All right. Listen carefully, everybody. This is Micci Morris telling her story without being willing to tell us whatever it is you have to tell us. So we're looking for all ears.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. or space rather, it makes it even more special. I had no idea this is what the topic was today, Alzheimer's. I had no idea.
The brain, the brain. So we're talking about the brain. So go ahead.
The brain, yeah. So my husband just, was inviting me through Rob. I really don't personally know him, but I know we started with the products and the collagen. I started my mother on the collagen, I think last Tuesday is when we received it. Now, my mother has been diagnosed with the Alzheimer's for, I guess, about 10 years. So no focus. 10 years, yes. So no focus, just kind of staring. She's 86 years old. So she's just basically kind of staring. Sometimes we put on gospel music, she'll kind of move her head, that type of thing. Sometimes I'll tell her an old story about her grandmother and she may give a laugh. Other than that, no, she can still walk on her own, that type of thing. But I started the collagen on last Tuesday. And on top of that, last Thursday, she was diagnosed with COVID. And so she had a lot of mucus, yes. So she had a lot of mucus on her chest. So we received the products. I started giving her collagen in her Ensure because that's the only way, even her medicine, she just, she chews them. So I started putting it in her Ensure and sometime in the cereal. And then the brain boost, I only gave her about 2 brain boosts because my brother is dealing with pancreatic cancer. So my first order, I wanted to send that over to him and get him going right away. So it was round about this week. I think it was round about Friday. We was taking her, on her daily walks. She had more clarity. She was pushing her walker. The neighbors was like, we haven't seen her in a while, and they was calling her name. And she stopped and turned around and waved to them.
Oh my.
And she had not done something like that in 2 or 3 years. And her foot that she was dragging, she was able to keep up with her walker. And then I think it was that Friday morning when I put her in the shower, which she has to lift her leg over the tub. And so I shared with her, I said, why don't you try and wash your face with the washcloth? And this is something she has not done in 2 or 3 years. I would have to bathe her. And just with that one prompting, she started washing her face, and she continued to wash her neck, and she continued to wash her body. And I'm like, whoa. And then when I went around to pick up and get some more soap, she had stepped out of the tub on her own, 1, 2, without falling. And I'm like, oh, whoa, wait a minute, hold up. And the only thing I noticed, and it's been different things. I've called my brother after that, and she said, good morning. She said, good morning to him. She had not said anything like that to them in 5 years when they would call. And then last night, my husband and I was going to bed. He's online, and she goes, y'all, I'll see you. She has not had a sentence of 4 or 5 words like that in years. And I'm like, what is going on? Could this be? So the only thing I know was the collagen I've given her for about 7, 8 days. She missed 2 days last week. And this morning I did not give it to her. I gave her the brain booster, and she only had about 3 brain boosters. Wow. So that's the only thing other that I've noticed I've been doing. So.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. And hearing that story each time is remarkable, and it's amazing to hear it. Since the time that she shared that portion of the story, the very next week, Micci Morris came on again and said that her mom put 2 sentences together. She wrote down every single word that her mother said. The very next week, a few days later, mom crawled across the bed and was making up her own bed. sat herself outside of the bed. She began to do things again that she had not done for years. So that's her story. No one is making any claims about any nutritional supplements that made a difference. But at this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Nakouzi to enter into our discussion. I want to introduce this gentleman to you. Now, just to give you a little bit of Dr. Nakouzi's background, Dr. Nakouzi worked as an internist in Bridgeport, Connecticut. He received his medical degree at the Sapienza University in Rome. He came here to the United States and went through the Yale or the Harvard program because, you know, this country doesn't recognize medical accomplishments from other countries. So he went through the entire medical program here in this country. I think it was at Yale as well to get his license to practice medicine here. So he became a general internal medicine physician. His specialty included cardiology, infectious disease, and medical oncology. He's also very much an expert in holistic and alternative medicines. I met Dr. Nakouzi when I was searching for what was wrong with my wife. I was trying to figure out what was wrong with Joanna. We were giving her the best immune system products on the planet, so I thought, and it wasn't helping her. So I made tremendous progress once I ran into Dr. Nakouzi. So folks, it's my privilege to introduce to you Dr. Jarir Nakouzi. And Dr. Nakouzi, or you've already done it. So we're going to just add you to the to our discussion now. Thank you very much for your willingness to come on and join us in this discussion. So
thank you, Jonathan.
I hope I got everything right. It's impossible to really give the whole list of all your accolades there, but I hope it's enough of it so that I didn't butcher who and what you are. Did I get it clear?
You were very clear. You didn't butcher anybody and anything.
All right, very good. Well, thank you very much again. So did you hear that testimonial there by Ms. Micci Morris? Did you just hear that?
I was in and out. I'm sorry. Just yeah. Could you summarize it for me? The highlights?
Oh yes. I'm going to give you the highlights of it right now, because there's some here right now that had never heard the story at all. The particular night that Micci Morris shared her story, she said that her mom had suffered with Alzheimer's for 10 years. And then as she was out taking a walk, people would call her by name and she turned around and she was responding to them. She hadn't responded in more than 2 years. And then later, after just taking a couple of days of taking the collagen daily that Dr. Prasad formulated, she began to remember things that she had not done before, like stepping out of the bathroom and bathing herself. Micci said that she gave her mom a washcloth and says, "Okay, wash your face." Not only did mom do exactly what she said, she washed her face. She went on to wash her neck. She washed her whole body. She says, normally she has to bathe her mom. And then she turned around and mom had stepped out of the shower. She'd been unable to do anything like that. So she began to recover cognitive function, Dr. Nakouzi. So my question to you, because you're the one, I've told these folks that are on this meeting right now, you're the first person that called me up one day and said that you had been doing research and beta amyloids is a problem when it comes to people with Alzheimer's. Could you give us a little bit of a connection there? And if this woman somehow began to go in the opposite direction, could you explain to us how that's possible, Dr. Nakouzi?
Yeah. So thank you so much, Jonathan, for inviting me for this presentation. Of course, it's difficult. By the way, I think you did already the disclaimer, correct? So this
yes, I did.
Yeah, it's not FDA approved and it's not a medical consultation, but it's just sharing information with the people who are present on this presentation.
Information and educational purposes only.
Correct. So let us speak a little bit about Alzheimer and toxicity. So if we let any one of us here present live enough years, we will probably all develop Alzheimer's disease and cancer. It's just a matter of time. If we were to let everybody present here to live a very long life, so some people, some of us might die before they develop Alzheimer's disease and cancer. That doesn't mean that they were not going to hit that threshold of Alzheimer's disease and cancer. That's why these type of diseases are really, really very important. And it's good to understand a little bit of what happens in the body internally when we develop Alzheimer's. So there are certain risk factors that in the research that I have done, looking for what causes this disease, what is that hit the person, and the process of becoming an Alzheimer patient starts to be triggered. Of course, the process takes very long years. It's not something that comes overnight, obviously. So one risk factor is what we call the apolipoprotein E. What is a lipoprotein? Like the name says, it's a lipo, which is lipid, and protein. The lipid is in the center, and the protein is on the outside. That's why they call it lipoprotein. And E is to designate there is the A, the B, etc. This is the E. The E is the type of mixture of lipid and protein that triggers something in the brain, and it has it go toward triggering an Alzheimer's disease.
Wow.
So just with that step alone, Jonathan, we can think of the benefit of, let's say, things like micro-daily, because you asked me earlier, what do you think about micro-daily and collagen daily? And scientifically speaking, when you take micro-daily, and I was looking at all the ingredients that are here in micro-daily, which you probably shared a zillion times with the audience. If you look at the list of ingredients, you'll see one that is called vitamin E. Vitamin E is a famous antioxidant, like vitamin C and other vitamins. But in the market, when you look at supplements available, you'll find a vitamin E that is the vitamin E acetate. That's the one that is present on the market. But if you look here in this micro daily, you see vitamin E, which is alpha, the scientific name is alpha tocopherol succinate. Why was it formulated this way? Because succinate is a little tag that attaches to vitamin E and makes the vitamin E cross a barrier that is called blood-brain barrier, BBB, like triple B. The blood-brain barrier is literally a barrier that doesn't allow certain nutrients that are present in supplements or in food to get to the brain. We were made this way because our brain is so delicate and doesn't have a very good, easy system of cleaning itself. It's not like the liver or the kidney or the intestine that has an easy way out. So it has to be protected. It's in this very thick skull, and it receives nutrients from the blood, and then it eliminates through a watery substance called the cerebrospinal fluid. Now, because of that, having the succinate in the microdaily is very important. That means the content of microdaily acts like a rail, like a tracking system, a scaffolding system that takes the ingredients from the blood and channels them in a pathway into the brain. Now, that's very important. That means that the antioxidant activity of the microdaily and the proteins present in the collagen daily are tracked in this railroad, if you wish, virtual railroad that goes, destination is the brain. And it works inside the brain to do its activity. Why is it important? Like we said just now, having this apolipoprotein E as a risk factor for Alzheimer's disease, you want something that stops this toxicity right in its track before it becomes too late. So taking the micro daily and taking the collagen daily is a very good way of preventing this disease from getting too fast into the system.
No pun intended, but that's mind-boggling, Dr. Nakouzi.
It is.
And I'm not trying to exaggerate that or be funny, but that's amazing, because I wasn't connecting the fact that the vitamin E succinate could be contributing to any kind of improvement.
Mhm.
But we have seen anecdotally folks with dementia show a restoration of cognitive function even before we had collagen daily. So
Right.
what you just said would explain that.
Right. So,
That's
Jonathan,
amazing.
like you said, there is also toxicity comes from different places. Let us
Mhm.
speak a little bit about toxicity. Toxicity can come from genetic factors. We inherit from our ancestors a set of genes, and if there is something wrong there, we just take it and then we develop disease.
Wow.
So genetic inherited errors in the DNA will lead to predisposition to develop Alzheimer's disease. Another way of developing Alzheimer's disease is not necessarily related to genetics, because many of us did not inherit anything bad from our parents as far as developing Alzheimer's. Maybe we inherited to develop a pancreas problem or a kidney
Right.
problem, but not necessarily Alzheimer's disease. How come we end developing it? Because toxicity is the key. Toxicity is the cause of a lot of diseases. But what is this toxicity all about? Toxicity is at different levels: physical, emotional, mental, intuitional, spiritual, energetic, all level. Something is, for example, physical, to make some examples so people understand what we mean. Recreational is a physical toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
People who smoke,
Mm-hmm.
people who use alcohol in an abusive way,
Yep.
people who shoot themselves with IV drug abuse,
Yep.
people who take coffee all day. Every 1-2 hours, they have their coffee to stay awake. Or black tea in a very aggressive manner.
Yep.
There is another toxicity called iatrogenic. I don't know if you heard about it, but
Yeah.
I think I spoke to you about this. Iatrogenic is caused by pharmaceutical drugs. And every time you turn on your television, I don't have to tell you, they list all the stuff that these medication cause.
But Dr. Nakouzi, they play nice music with the side effects.
Correct. That's to distract the mind from concentrating on the side effect and to go and ask the doctor, hey, I heard this thing on television. There was that nice lady, that nice man. They were on the beach.
Dancing down the street, you know?
Dancing, and they felt happy.
Yep.
So the mind, the subconscious, is a subliminal subconscious signaling.
You're accepting it like it's okay.
Exactly. So then you have the vaccines. For example, not just the vaccine of COVID-19, but
Right,
before
any.
COVID-19, we had vaccines like MMR vaccine. It had a substance called thimerosal, chemical, heavy metals, amalgam in the teeth, radionuclides, those that they put in your vein when you do a PET scan or a CAT scan with IV contrast.
People have died from that.
Exactly. Other toxicities, plants, meat. What kind of toxicity? Pesticides, insecticides, fertilizers, fungicides, antibiotic in the meat, hormones, heavy metal.
Did you say weed killer in there?
Weed killers, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Weed killers, right.
They know I've been talking about weed killer here for the past like 3 weeks. So
Yes. The Monsanto products
glyphosate
are on the shelves of the market, are everywhere now. And it is already declared. You can open any website and read about it. There's nothing hidden.
It's in the cereal.
Yeah, it can cause cancer. So soon you will have probably some law firm in Washington, D.C. and New York area that will start the process in big cities saying, hey, have you been exposed to Roundup and you have developed cancer? You can come here and, we will take your case.
Class action lawsuits. There's been billions of dollars paid out on that. So That's on the list of the external toxins that you were talking about.
Correct. And
So,
sorry.
so can on that same level, before you finish that, can we show you another brief testimonial of a gentleman? It's a father-daughter.
Yeah.
And Dr. Nakouzi, they both had a cancer.
Right.
If you listen to it, the man says he had what's it called? Squamous cell carcinoma?
Yes. Yes. And remind me, Jonathan, after the testimonial, just so that I don't forget, remind me to tell you how can you increase the efficacy of micro daily and collagen daily intake so that you can bring it to the next level.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So listen to this man as he tells his story. He had the squamous cell carcinoma, and the daughter had some kind of stomach cancer.
Right.
And help us understand how it is that micro daily could have had any kind of an impact on that. Just for that sake. So, Jeff, were you able to cue that up for us, Jeff?
Yes, I've got it. So
hi, Jeff. It is nice to hear your voice.
Good to see you again, Dr. Nakouzi.
It's been a long time since I saw you in Florida.
Too long.
Yeah, we're going to correct that. We'll make amends. So yeah, let me pull up this right here.
I told her about these. I had an operation here on the side of my temple where they had to remove a very aggressive skin cancer known as squamous cell carcinoma. And I noticed I had 3 more moles coming up like a feeder that maybe they had missed. And so, being the good person that Alfreda is, she didn't tell me about it. She came to my home and started telling me all about this micro daily. And I did what she said. Started taking triple doses of the. Matter of fact, I just made me one. Very simple to use. It's like Crystal Light. And I was drinking 3 of those a day and doubling up on the micro daily hydro. And I did that for a little over a month. I had high blood pressure problems. I was able to reconnect with my original doctor. He had all my previous testing and pallets from all the different blood tests, etc. Well, the high blood pressure had already damaged my kidneys. And I went to a different doctor, and she wanted me to do, because of my age, she wanted me to do everything from a colonoscopy to you name it. I said, I'm not doing that. So he said, no, I understand where you're coming from. Let's just start with the blood test and we'll go from there. Your blood pressure medicine is not working. You're 200 over 140 and close to having a stroke, I assume. That's what I've been told. And so he increased the amount of losartan that he was giving me. He said, I want to see you in about a month. And so in that month, I'd been taking micro daily, the regimen that I described. And I had to go to a lab where they took the blood tests, and they did from A to Z all the different things between diabetes and my kidneys and the high blood pressure and yada, 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 prostate. When I came back to see him, he says, David, I don't know what you're doing, but your prostate, you're in the 1% or less that'll never get prostate cancer. Says I can't detect any more damage on your kidneys. Your high blood pressure is at 130 over 80. Diabetes, you're never going to have it. Your whatever they measure,
A1C.
A1C, it's off the chart good. It's 5.3. Wow. Yes, it was close to maybe a 10.
Yeah.
And in 5 days,
Yeah, I was gonna say that. You called me.
The 3 lesions from the cancer that had come back had fallen off.
Wow.
Right.
He says, I don't know what you're doing, but keep on doing it.
Wow. Wow. That's
Now, I'm gonna tell you another story. Same identical
remarkable.
thing. My daughter, stage 3 cancer. She has a lymphoma in her stomach.
Wow.
She's on chemo. We're giving her a thing called in HER2. And I suggested that she start micro daily, et cetera, triple doses. And this past week, she got a phone call. She's been going through this for about 2.5 months. She's on the micro daily for a month. And her doctor told her the exact same thing that I heard from my doctor. I don't know what you're doing, but keep on doing it. There's no trace of cancer. Don't stop doing it. She still has an appointment in Tennessee to see her oncologist because this returned. She had the cancer 4 years ago. And when a person of her age, young, has a reoccurrence, it's a 84% mortality rate.
Yeah.
It's very high. It comes back and it comes back stronger than ever. And there's not she's got 4 kids.
Wow. Wow. David,
So we only wanted to supplement what they were doing with the doctor. It wasn't that this was a cure-all, but it damn sure helped.
wow.
Yeah.
David, we applaud you. And we're so happy that you got the results that you got. We have to just tell everybody that results are atypical. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Engage Global, myself, Alfreda, Jeff, we're not making any medical claims. We don't claim that microdaily, hydro, collagen daily will treat or cure any disease. But David, thank you for sharing your story.
I'm so glad you listened.
Jonathan, your microphone's off.
That's thank you. That's just amazing, David. Jeff, thank you for sharing that. And David is here on the meeting tonight, right now. So I asked David if he would maybe share another comment, if he would, on that. So David, if you'd like to comment, just unmute yourself, please, and then you can make a comment. But I'm going to ask Dr. Nakouzi. Can you help us to understand, Dr. Nakouzi, how is it possible that he and his daughter could have transitioned from where they were to the doctors telling them that they no longer had cancer and that their health had turned around so radically when they added micronutrients to their diet? Could you just help us to understand how that could have happened?
Yeah. So first of all, like you said, Jonathan, not every person that you give to them micro daily and collagen daily will have these results that our friend David had. I'm very happy for him. He is a fortunate guy that he responded this way. We all know that some people who have certain medical conditions that tried micro daily and collagen did not have these type of results. That is true. But we need to keep in mind, and in a second I will tell you what happened in David and his daughter that can explain the benefit that the results they had. So every person taking micro daily and now the added collagen daily will certainly benefit. To what degree is unknown. Why is it unknown? Because each person has his own genetic predisposition.
Okay.
Each person has their own epigenetic predisposition. And we can speak another time about this epigenetic. It's a very interesting concept.
I'm going to hold you to that now. So
Every person is exposed to different type of toxins. But
Yep.
especially, Jonathan, every person had their own set of emotional traumas in the past.
Right.
So when you put all these factors together and you hit them with micro daily and collagen, they are definitely going to benefit. And some benefit might be silent. What do you mean by that? If they are working, for example, if they are working on the level of sugar in the body and the hemoglobin A1C is improving, unless the doctor takes the blood and sees the number,
How would you know?
you know what's happening.
Yeah.
He would be shocked to see something like from 10 to 5.3, as somebody said here, David, I think.
Yeah.
So this is shocking in the medical field. Now, how do we explain in the case of David and his daughter these tremendous results? It's actually very simple. When you take this combination of microdaily that has, I mean, looking here on all the ingredients that are in this microdaily, the way they were combined together, they were chosen to be in a certain concentration,
Mm-hmm.
a list of items,
Mm-hmm.
certain forms. Like we spoke before, you have the vitamin E succinate, not just acetate.
Yep. Yeah.
These go into certain parts of the body. In this case, David did not have a brain tumor, but he had a skin tumor on the left side of his head, correct? In the temple area.
Yep.
Now, a cancer feeds on different metabolites. It feeds on different foods. But when you give, and there is something we call the cancer microenvironment. What does it mean? You might have heard about this expression. It's a very important concept. The body could be all alkaline. Some people take tons of water. They call it alkaline water, which I don't personally recommend to go very high alkalinity in the body because there are other problems that it can lead to. But the point is, you could make your entire body alkaline, but the cancer is still there.
Yeah.
So you ask yourself, why on earth this cancer is living in alkaline? It's actually not living in an alkaline. The cancer is like a rebellious government in a government. It's like somebody in the Midwest in this country, a group of people, they unite together and they are, armed up to their teeth and they control a certain area. The government has no business going there to them. They start shooting. So they are independent of the central government out of Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
In the same way, our body could be all alkaline and dictating a certain order, but the microenvironment of the cancer says the opposite. It has a certain acidity around it that nothing can change it. It's just for survival. Remember, the cancer is trying to survive. It's its own government.
That's
so
phenomenal.
Now, when you take microdaily and when you take the collagen, and these are able, so we can say it's not the microdaily and the collagen that treated the 3 lesion in the squamous cell carcinoma in this patient. Absolutely not. It's his body that treated it. It's the body of David that treated it. And then we are right when we say this is not approved by FDA, it doesn't treat, cure. It's true. It's always the body created by a super intelligent creator who put it, that intelligence is as a microchip in us, that is that immune system that really does the job. It's a miracle.
That's incredible.
But when you feed it with the micronutrient and the necessary stuff, and it makes use of them, that's when the results occur. So you have to be patient as a person and just wait for the results. And as I was telling you before, Jonathan, because we have genetic factors, epigenetic factors, stress, toxicity, and emotional trauma, certain patients or certain people do not respond immediately to the level that they would like with microdaily and collagen.
Right.
What I recommend in those situations, to take the advantage of microdaily and collagen to the next level. You probably are familiar with the lymphatic flush.
Yes.
The lymphatic flush, and I mean, tonight we're not speaking about lymphatic flush, but I just wanted to mention it for you.
Yep.
If you have the lymphatic flush along with these nutrients, what happened, and that's another session by its own, there is a very interesting mechanism where the homeopathic contained in lymphatic flush goes into the lymphatic system and in the space near the cells and causes a vibration, because a homeopathic is a vibrational remedy. It causes a vibration that shakes the sticky toxicity against the walls of the lymphatic. It shakes it so well that, let us say, if this is the lymphatic flush that's shaking like this, and this is the microdaily. The microdaily wants to come here and remove the toxicity, but if there is no vibration to shake it, the micronutrients cannot reach behind the toxin and coach it to take it away to the urine or to the stool or to the sweat. So when you put them together, it becomes a bomb. And there is a third one, Jonathan. It's called emotional trauma protocol. It's also a homeopathic specific to help the patient cope. It doesn't eliminate traumas. Nobody eliminates traumas. Only the creator can make you new and eliminate.
Right.
But what it does, it disconnects the effect of all trauma on the organs, on the cancer, on the diabetes, on the hypertension. So by taking the emotional trauma, the lymphatic flush, and adding it to Dr. Prasad protocol with the micro daily and collagen daily, now you go to the next level.
Wow. That's mind-boggling. And I'm completely on board with that. We've had some conversations about this, and I'm sure that everyone's going to want to get some information about this at some point. So I'm going to tell everybody that's on the meeting now that you can feel free to send me an email, and my email is very easy: Jonathan@HarryCharlieSam HCSAAA.com. Jonathan@HCSAAA.com. And I can point you into the direction of tapping into some of the homeopathic power of homeopathy, coupled with what we have in our possession right now.
And Jonathan, maybe you could put it in the chat for us.
Yeah. Alfreda's going to pop it in there, so she's probably already on it. So, Dr. Nakouzi, I think everybody right now is fairly speechless. One health advocate put in the chat there that they are overwhelmingly appreciative of the type of information that they keep getting access to. And many of these folks have heard me quoting you over and over and over again over the past year, because I said that the first time I heard about beta amyloids was you. I didn't know anything about beta amyloids until you were the one that said it. So maybe, Dr. Nakouzi, we're going to get you to come back, because I told you that I was only going to keep you for 15 minutes.
It would be my pleasure.
And I believe that if I opened up for questions right now, it would be a whole nother hour.
Right.
And we don't want to keep you here for a whole nother hour, because if I did that, I won't be able to get you to come back again. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to say thank you very much. This recording is going to be made available to anyone within my organization that wants to hear it and that would like to get it again. And if anyone knows anyone that could have benefited from hearing this discussion tonight, remember that my YouTube channel is very easy to get to. It's YouTubeJonathan.com. YouTubeJonathan.com. Okay, so you just go there. It'll take you right to the channel, and like, subscribe, and share, and it helps the algorithm to pick it up and to get the information out there some more. So Dr. Nakouzi, I'm going to charge you with accepting an invitation again in the future And if everybody will unmute themselves now, please tell Dr. Nakouzi how badly you want to get
Please
him
come
Hey,
back.
back,
Jonathan,
Dr.
Freedom
Nakouzi.
wants you first.
Thank you,
so
Doctor.
much.
Dr.
Really,
Nakouzi.
This is
we are so
Alfreda.
happy, Dr.
Please
And I
come
say
Nakouzi.
back
one
to the
thing,
program. Thank
For
you.
you
one
so
thing, Dr.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
Nakouzi.
Dr.
you.
Nakouzi,
Thank
my
you.
fellow
We're
Bridgeport
so
person.
happy.
Thank
So
Thank
happy.
Thank
On
you, Dr.
Bridgeport Hospital, Bridgeport
Nakouzi.
Hospital.
You're the greatest.
Bye-bye.
You are the greatest.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank
Thank you, Doc.
you.
Bye.
So I think you folks, maybe you just got a glimpse of what we have access to. So my encouragement to everyone now is to think long and hard about the power of micro daily and collagen daily. It is no joke. It's no laughing matter. It's extremely powerful. I think we do still have David that's on the meeting now. So David, if we can get David to just join me for a hot second here before we wrap up our discussion. So what are your thoughts now, David? I mean, can you heard some of the comments there of Dr. Nakouzi, and it's like it's an elementary explanation. He says, yeah, it makes perfect sense that it happened to David and his daughter. So what are your thoughts now?
Well, my thoughts on that are, in his analogy, I love my Second Amendment right. So I got here late. Alfreda called me to get online. So I didn't get a whole lot of the conversation as far as his analogy that basically it's its own biosphere within your own biosphere. Is the way I understood it. And that it's trying to preclude, or it's trying to stay alive, just
That's
like
right.
any other organism. And everybody's body is different. You may have a different reaction to the chemicals or the combination of chemicals in our own DNA, our own responses, our own allergies, there's a whole lot of variables. And I happen to be fortunate, my daughter was fortunate that this combination worked for us. So if nothing else, it gives hope to those that don't know where else to go. And they're trying what the traditional medicine is, and it's not always enough. And if nothing else, you're trying to have your own biosphere as strong and as healthy as possible to
There you go.
complement whatever the traditional medicine is that they're trying to use in order to help you as well. They're coming at it from a different perspective. And they're not really taught about wellness. They're taught to do medicine.
That's right.
So that's why I prefer to go to ODs and not MDs. And although I might sound a little bit redneck, like I just fell off the turnip truck,
Not at all.
I'm not as dumb as I may sound.
No, not at all. We think that you are brilliant because it didn't happen by accident. And I think that Dr. Nakouzi mentioned that. That's one of the things he said, that genetics play a role.
Yeah.
So
May I
sometimes,
add one more thing that I did do?
yeah, please.
In complementing the regimen that I described last time. Last time I knew it was all about the products that we're promoting here through Engage.
Yeah.
But I also supplemented vitamin B17, which you find in apricot seeds,
Mm-hmm.
and also corduroy silver. And those two items are very potent against most cancers. And
Fantastic.
my daughter's wearing a metal infused, which we believe is corduroy silver, that's like a copper fit type of garment that she's wearing, like an ace bandage it's infused. I'm actually a textile engineer, so I know how it's made.
Right.
And they feed it in the same way that they would do Lycra inside of a knitting machine. And you got a special feeder. And it's just a matter of what the content of how many feeders you want to put into the making of the fabric as to the density of that particular property.
Right. Well, then and that's the reason why we always will say we don't know all the clinical circumstances around each person's circumstance. So, and we always tell folks it's a factor. It's a factor. So we add it in, and then we just go from there. And personally, if it was me and I deal with cancer, and I've had my share of scares personally with cancer, I throw the kitchen sink at it. So, and I tell everybody that I've personally decided to go at least 5 levels deep, 5 different options deep on how to deal with abnormal cells. That's my personal position on it. And after everything that I've examined over the years, I have to personally say that the most powerful combination so far has been what Dr. Prasad has come up with, because there's natural things out there, and the natural world is by far the best. But thank you very much, David. We're looking forward to hearing follow-ups on your story down the road.
I'll share one more story with you. I've been getting treated in the past 3 or 4 years for skin cancer on my arm, especially like your left arm is usually outside of the car window. And so after taking the Micro Daily, and I was prescribed prior to taking it to do some more of this cream they put on that is supposed to remove the cancer, topical type cancer cells on there. The texture of those particular spots is no longer as coarse as it was, which may be now it's kind of like somewhere in between. It's not cancer, but it's when I went and got some tested recently, they said it wasn't cancer anymore. It's looking like it's an SK. So those are kind of like a pre-cancer that's not cancer anymore.
Wow.
So I just thought I'd share that with you as well.
David, thank you very much. The gift that keeps on giving. Alfreda, you got a comment or question?
Yeah, I had a comment too, because we don't, we talk about glutathione and how the product raises glutathione, and then what that does, because that's the master antioxidant, all other antioxidants that you take will work better. Yeah. So when you're adding the colloidal silver, the apricot seeds, it's going to make all that stuff intense. That's to fight the free radicals and kill those bad cells. So, the key in all healthcare, in my opinion, the missing link that, all these other companies, a lot of them don't have in their products is raising something that raises glutathione. That is so key. Right. It makes all the difference in the world, and that's why you can get a patent on these products, because when you raise glutathione and you strengthen your immune system, you heard Dr. Nakouzi say it. That's how our creator made our immune system, was to take care of all of that stuff, to nuke it before it starts and everything. But so many people don't understand how important that is. And, and when your immune system gets low, it naturally gets lower because we age, but this is boosting it back up. And so it gives anybody with whatever ailment you have the best fighting chance. I have this on my medical card. If I'm unconscious, I want them to put it in my feeding tube, or whatever, because I know that will give me the best fighting chance that I would have if I was to be unconscious and not able to put that stuff down my throat myself.
That's right. Absolutely correct. And that's very true. And that's so for those of you who are visiting for the first time, we cannot recommend it strongly enough. Think of Micro Daily and Collagen Daily as the food that's missing from our food. Now, Dr. Nakouzi could have sat here and talked to us all night long, because believe me, I've talked with that man for hours about the emotion and the epigenetics and all the other factors that make us predisposed towards some level of disease. But he focused on what you have control over: toxins. You may not be able to stop all the toxins from going in your body. You can to some degree, but you won't be able to stop them all, because we're exposed to the sun, we're breathing air, we're drinking water. And even when we think that we're buying good water, believe you me when I tell you that there's toxins in here, because I know that this has bisphenol A in it. But what we can do is make sure that our most powerful asset, our immune system, is seriously robust. We have to make sure that our most powerful asset is as robust as possible. And that's where microdaily comes into the conversation. So the least expensive option is the original, only $53 a bottle. $53 a bottle. Pretend like you didn't hear what I'm about to say, but everywhere there are price increases taking place. So don't wait, stock up now. Everywhere there's price increasing taking place all around. Just look around, go to the grocery store and you'll see that. So now is the time to make sure that you jump on the bandwagon. And when it comes to the collagen daily, you only have until Sunday to lock into this one particular price, $59.99, to the end of the year. You can lock that in because on August the 1st, the price goes up $5. So right now is the time to order it. Had one health advocate so determined that she's not going to run out of collagen daily. She literally is buying like 20 of them. I think she already bought like 15 of them already today, and she's buying the rest of them between now and maybe tomorrow. We'll get the rest of them because of how well it's working for her, her family, and people around her. So now's the time to get it. But add it to your auto ship. Just add it to your subscription. It's only, like I said, $60. That's just $2 a day for it. And the benefits are just off the charts with the benefits of it. Brain Boost, very expensive, only about $33, $32, I think it is. The Eye Boost, same thing, same category. The top of the line micro daily is the EMF version. So this is the one I take. I personally take 6 of them in the morning. A regular dose is 3 capsules twice a day. I'm 60. I know I need a little bit extra. So I take 6 capsules in the morning and I take 4 later in the day. So I'm doing 10 of them per day. And Joanna's taking something similar. And I'm going to back up again. The only way I came in contact with Dr. Nakouzi was because what I was doing before was not helping my wife. So when I went searching, I found this was one of the experts that I found. And what he just said about the lymphatic system, believe me when I tell you that that was one of the keys to clearing up Joanna's multiple chemical sensitivities, because she was allergic to everything. And what happens in our lymphatic system is toxins that we have been stuck with end up being stuck inside our lymphatic system. And until you make them get out, they won't go. And that's what happened to Joanna. So now she doesn't have the same level of allergens that she did. Still just have a few. She still has some, but not nearly what she had before. So, and I thank Dr. Nakouzi for that. We've been friends ever since. And whenever I have a question, a serious question about anything, in fact, most of what I know, I learned from my conversations with that man. I read a ton of stuff too, but I get it from that man. He points me in the right direction when it comes to research. So this is going to end our special discussion for tonight. So this coming Sunday at 5 o'clock, we're having a presentation. Do you know anyone who could benefit from a presentation like this? Get them here on Sunday. Now, the code for tonight was a special code, and it was special because you were specially invited. So it was a very closed family discussion. That's why we had a discussion tonight that was very, 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 very closed discussion. But on Sunday, we go back to our normal Zoom ID and password. Sundays at 5 o'clock, Tuesdays at 7:30, Thursdays at 6 o'clock. But this coming Sunday is the one that you don't want to miss. So bring your guest to this one this coming Sunday. So I'm going to go a couple more questions.
I think Jeff got something.
Something. Yes, please go ahead. I want to take a couple more questions, Jeff, and any other comments that you have. And I think Alfreda has a question too. But Jeff, go ahead, please.
So what I'd like to do is with this being a little closed group, and I really appreciate Dr. Nakouzi being available and for him to speak as openly as he did about these things. I think it's back to David's experience. It's significant that Alfreda says, triple up the dose. Do that.
Thank you.
Because Dr. Prasad has filed an additional patent. Okay. It's a patent on the micro daily formula being tripled. Okay. Because it is the right combination, the right quantity, and the right form. And
that was interesting that Dr. Nakouzi specified that as well. Go ahead.
Yes. So with this being a closed group, there's a couple of slides that I would like to share with everybody and then talk about my dad's situation because it was so close to home. It's easier for us to go out and talk and help others with their situations. But when it hits the doorstep, when it is your dad, it is significant. And so I just feel with this closed group right here that I want to share a little deeper into it. And so if you give me 2-3 more minutes here,
please do.
I want to add to what David and Alfreda have brought forward to us because we're drawing so much energy from it, but because this is so personal, because this is and some of you know about the story. We're going back to May 13th of just May. We're talking 2 months ago.
Just happened.
And it was too close to home because I'm telling you, my dad was taking this. He was taking the 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. And if I could make any encouragement, I would say 3 a.m. and 3 just right before you go to bed. It's the last thing that you do so that your body has a storehouse to draw from during sleep, because that's when the body repairs, rebuilds, and regenerates. So I know, Jonathan, you were saying you take some later in the day. Try that right before bed. Just throwing that out to everybody. Let me go to this because I actually documented it with my brother. My brother is the executor of the family trust, and so he is kind of responsible for Dad. And this is a text message that we got from my brother that went out to all of us siblings on May 13th. And let me just read it for you. You can see that I'm on there, and there's the rest of my 6 siblings. I'm one of 7. Sorry for the delay in getting this out to everyone. Dad had an appointment with the doctor on Wednesday. This was originally going to be the first of 3 IVs of gamma globulin. However, Medicare insurance denied treatment, so we were meeting with the doctor to find out what is next. Quick side note, Dad is coming off the prednisone down to 1 pill this week and then off. So we met with the doctor, and he didn't have any good answers. I'm going to switch to the very next one. See, I'm reading down through it. He has stopped trying to find out why Dad's bone marrow is not producing what it should. The doctor's suggestion is to have Dad get a shot in his leg every week for who knows. The shot is end plate. It's supposed to boost his platelets. That is all I know about the shot. After that news, he talked to Dad about how he feels Dad's maker is calling him home, and talked to us about hospice. Dad does not want to get the shot, and I've asked Jeff to put together a Zoom meeting for Friday night, 8:30. Dad is going to be on the call. Dad is also trying an MMF protocol recommended by Dr. Prasad. Not sure about the spelling. My feeling is that this is better than what Dr. Frame is coming up with. So I share that, Jonathan, just to give you an idea. This was May 13th. We panicked as a family and says, you know what, let's do a family reunion because we may not see Dad again. Okay.
Yeah.
That was how close to home it was. And I was really concerned because Dad's taken this.
He was taking it.
He's been taking it. But Dr. Prasad had said sometimes when the body is facing a really difficult circumstance, it needs enough support that it outweighs the other things that are going on in the body. And so
that's almost exactly what Nakouzi was saying, because he says everybody's body is different, and chemically, it may take a whole lot more to overcome what you're dealing with.
Absolutely. So during that little Zoom that I did for my siblings with Dad on the call, this is what I shared with him. And that's why I feel with this close, not, tight-knit group here, I want to share the blood sides that were shared with us. Okay.
Please.
And this goes right along with what Dr. Prasad had suggested. So these blood slides, and let me go back one because this is the difference. So this is March 26th of this year. So March, April, May. Okay, so this was just 2 months before my dad. This was an individual that we know very well. She is a naturopathic physician, hundreds of clients, patients. This was a severe case that she had. This is a live blood slide analysis, and what you're looking at on March 26th is this is showing this is how bone marrow cancer was showing up in the blood. And she says the white pockets, those white pockets are crystallized substance, and that is the cancer. So this is 4th stage bone marrow cancer. Okay.
So those big white blotches, that's the tell. Okay.
That is what it was. And I could go back. She actually traces this back. This is 315, 226. And you can see that those are not really going away. They're actually kind of getting bigger. This was a Saturday morning and she was just absolutely in tears. This happens to be really close to her home because this is her husband.
Wow.
Okay. We talked about Dr. Prasad's protocol. Dr. Prasad's protocol is to go 3 times the dose. So, so instead of just doing 3 capsules in the morning and 3 capsules at night, she actually went to 9 capsules 3 times a day. So 27 capsules in a day. And let me show you what the 5-day difference made. So this is 3/26. This is March 26th. Look at March 31st, 5 days later. Look at the difference in the size of those white.
The big white blotches are gone. It's just a few little spots there.
Just a few little. So this is stage 1. So stage 4 to stage 1 in 5 days. In 5 days. So this is what I had shared with my siblings and with Dad. Okay. And I says, we really have nothing else to lose. Okay, so this is where we were. And so May 13th, he starts on this protocol. He's taking 27 capsules a day and happy to do it. He didn't swallow every one of them. He actually opened them up and mixed them into yogurt and some other things just to get them all down. This was 2 weeks later. So May 13th to June 1st. And this is the text that I got. Dad just finished seeing Dr. Frame. His platelets have doubled. Yay. He would like to see Dad again on the 13th of July as a follow-up. Dad is in much better spirits with the news. We got a way to go there. I fist bumped and I said, fantastic. Looking forward to seeing everyone in 10 days. And the reason it was 10 days is because we had scheduled a family reunion for June 11th. June 11th was my mom's birthday. She has preceded my dad by about 4 years, but we didn't. We want to keep Dad with us, but let's see him one more time. This was so exciting for us. I mean, 2 weeks, May 13th to June 1st. This was the difference. Wow. Now, this is the reunion. So this is June 11th, and Dad's there with a couple of his great grandkids, my youngest daughter and her husband, and Dad is in. It just doesn't look like an individual that was sent home for hospice. In fact, I mean, it was so bad that a brother of mine had moved in with Dad. He couldn't get himself to the restroom. He couldn't do anything with his meals. He had to just basically sit in a wheelchair. Like I said, he couldn't even take care of things in the bathroom. My brother would have to go in and get his drawers down, get him positioned, get everything going, because he could not do it for himself. And that's why the doctor says, maybe his maker is just calling him. So I want to share, though, the very next text that we got, and it was this. Dad ventured out for a little shopping trip today with his walker. He did really well navigating around Dollar Tree. Loved an image. That was awesome. Thanks for the pics. Sweet. Hopefully he kept it under the speed limit. And then my sister, my oldest sister, says, wow. I didn't think I would see that again. And so that is Dad. And I just, Jonathan, I feel like I need to give the rest of the story because it goes right along with what David just mentioned. Because I was saying, why isn't this working? Why
Yeah.
isn't this working? And all Dr. Prasad did. So here's another thing to come to find out as my brother had moved in there, they brought all of their supplements along with them because his wife's into it. Dad had gone online and he'd bought a bunch of stuff. And so when we sat down as a family, I said, Dr. Prasad says, go off of everything else. And Dad had an entire dresser top full of different supplements that he was taking along with the micro daily.
Wow.
And so when we stopped all of that, and earlier
Wow.
you said, I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at something.
Yeah.
We did just the opposite. We threw the entire kitchen sink that was full of micro daily
That's right.
at it, but we eliminated all of the other stuff, all of the other supplements that really messed up that CQF
Yeah.
combination Dr. Prasad talked
It was
about.
distorting the efficacy. Yeah.
It really was. And I know there's some brand new people on here and they're going, what in the world? What is he saying? Is he saying, yeah, a bottle a week? And my dad would absolutely do it again. And all of us siblings would say, Dad, please do it again if we were in that situation. And I'm telling you, it's that powerful. We've had others come forward and say, well, I do a really high quality vitamin from another company and it's more expensive. It has a lot more of ingredients in it. And they try and do that triple the dose. I've had them absolutely get violently ill.
Yeah.
And say, you know what? I'm coming back to what Dr. Prasad, because who else is going to put their name on the bottle?
That's right.
I mean, go out there and look on all the store shelves, look online. Is the formulator going to put his name on the bottle? And is he going to put his seal, his standard, that CQF, if I can get in the light right, that CQF standard is on every one of his products because of his research. So right. I know I've kind of jumped in and I've taken over the call here for a little bit, but
yeah.
I felt with this group, they needed to see those slides. 5 days.
That's,
5 days.
And I'm glad you did. I'm glad
just
you did
like,
come back on that. That's incredible.
Well, so David held his hand up a week ago and he says 5 days and all of the things on the side of his head fell off. There's something magical about that. And so I wanted to just back it up with the slides for everybody tonight. So
it does work.
Thanks for letting me come on. It was awesome.
Thank you,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Thank you very much for that. Alfreda, you had a follow-up comment on that?
Yes, I absolutely miss Dr. Nakouzi. And thank you, Jeff, for those slides. That was incredible to see that, and that because it really is in those blood tests. Those blood tests tell us a lot of things, and people think, oh, it's not doing anything. Go get a blood test and you'll see what it's doing in your body. But Jonathan, you remember back when I came to Florida for Dr. Nakouzi's 3-hour,
we had a seminar. We had a
seminar. We did not want to leave. Nobody was like, can you talk longer? Yeah. With the information he was giving us, oh my gosh. But I know we videotaped it. And you probably have it in your archives.
Yep.
You could dig it out and put it in WhatsApp for us because they really need to know Dr. Nakouzi is brilliant. I enjoyed everything when you guys came over to my brother's house for lunch. And he just went through her, cabinets with her, my sister-in-law, and just tell her, get rid of this vitamin, that vitamin. And the other thing too, Dr. Nakouzi, as a scientist, he examined when we first got into Engage Global, he examined Micro Daily and he gave it a thumbs up.
Alfreda wouldn't have touched it if Dr. Nakouzi hadn't said, this man is brilliant. That product is phenomenal. Would
Yeah.
not have touched it. It would not have passed the smell test.
Yep.
So I sent, in fact, Jeff, I sent him the information first. And I said, man, what's taking this guy so long? I mean, it was months before he contacted me again. He says, Jonathan, I need to meet this Prasad. When can I meet him? Where? Set it up. Make the arrangements. And I called Jeff, and Jeff says, well, he's going to be in Atlanta. And Nakouzi flew down to Fort Lauderdale, and I had to drive him to Atlanta to meet Dr. Prasad. So, and they
Brilliant
talked
man.
2 hours. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Brilliant men. Yeah.
But it made all the difference in the world that happened. I would not be anywhere near this if Dr. Nakouzi hadn't said, this stuff is good. So thank you. Thank you for reminding me of that too, Alfreda. Appreciate that. So you guys have gotten a lot of the backstory. You guys now know stuff that few other people know. We've told you a lot of our connection with Jeff, and we thank Jeff over and over and over again for being so stubborn and persistent and not taking no for an answer, because I made it real clear I just didn't have time to be talking about another vitamin. I don't have time for this. I got something that works already. It's great. It's outstanding. I don't need another one. Until he showed me that patent for treating diabetes, and it was game over for me right then and there. And I had to get past Dr. Nakouzi. So,
well, just while we're here, and we got another minute or two, let me share this. Did I take him off? Nope, I've got him. Okay, so imagine, and this goes back to David's comments. He started talking about the skin here on his arm and things that are going on. Imagine taking the Micro Daily and mixing it 3 capsules to 1 tablespoon of organic coconut oil, making a little bit of a paste out of it, and then applying it topically. And so I'm going to, just before I jump off here, I'm going to share a young lady that did this with a big unsightly cancerous mole on her face. Okay. She just mixed up this little combination, set it on the back of the toilet lid, so when every time she'd go into the bathroom, she was washing her hands, she'd dip in and she'd put a little bit on this mole. This is how the mole started out. Okay. I don't know if you can see that there on your screen. This is the mole just to the side of her earlobe. And 6 weeks later, okay, so this is it. 6 weeks later.
Wow.
Where's the mole?
Wow.
Where's the mole? Where's even the scar? So here we are. And I know that the lighting is a little different, but look at the difference. And in that process, she described as it festered up, started to scab a little bit, and she peeled it off underneath. That was little raspberry seed pod, little, well, just, I don't have to call them out what they are. Little raspberry seed pods were underneath that mole. And just the difference there from here to here. And we've seen it happen time and time again. Just David, spread a little bit of that over those areas that aren't quite feeling as supple. And in fact, we had another individual actually take this product and put just a little bit of it in there.
Yeah.
Now you said you mixed the capsules with what? What did you mix it with?
Organic coconut oil.
Organic coconut oil.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
So just to share with you. And we had other people saying, I wonder how this would go into a bathtub. I wonder, how many scoops you would put in there. It's like, who needs Calgon any longer?
That's right.
And we got to thinking, well, you know what? These come 6 per case. How many cases do you want?
That's it.
Right?
That's it. I told you, got one health advocate right now that bought 20. She's not playing around with it. She's not going to run out. That's all it is to it. Okay, folks.
We got 30.
We cannot applaud you guys enough for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come to a presentation like that. There's so many other things that you could have been doing on a Friday night. So we tip our hats to you for joining us for this special event. When we have special events like this again, we'll put the word out. We'll let you know, especially when we can get Dr. Nakouzi. But we do have on August the 7th, Dr. Prasad has made himself available. And we're going to be talking about the brain's immune system. Did you know the immune system has its own, the brain has its own immune system? We're going to be talking about the impact of the collagen and microdaily on the brain's immune system. And then just a couple weeks after that, we'll be talking about the importance of gut bacteria and how Engage Global will have an impact on that. So we'll put the schedule, we'll send the whole schedule and let you guys all know about it and share the word about it. Okay. Thank you guys very much for joining us, and we'll see you Sunday, 5 o'clock. Bring a guest, 5 o'clock. Let's break some records, some attendance records. Okay. Everybody have a good night. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you, Jonathan and Jeff.
Thank you,
Jonathan and
David,
Jeff.
Sheila. Thank you, Rob, Norma.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Alfreda.
Thank you.
Jeff.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Avis, I saw you out there.
All right, family.
Great job. Great job.
Bye.
That's what I'm talking about.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. This is great.
The diehards don't